All righty. Hi, everybody. Good to see you all. In case I haven't seen you before, because I know you all invite folks to these calls. I'm Rosa Maimi, Director of Engagement and Membership here at AGU. This is the section leader support call where we meet monthly and have you all talk to each other, and we give you updates as staff around some of the operational pieces of your role as section leader and some other programmatic things that are coming up. So we have a lot of information as we always do. As I usually say, thank you for your service to AGU and for being a volunteer leader. I'm going to take it over to Amber and go from there.
Thanks, Rosa. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. For those who I haven't met, I'm Amber Levy. I'm the Vice President of Affiliation, Engagement, and Membership. It's great to see you here today. As Rosa mentioned, we have a very busy, jam-packed schedule. So I'm going to keep my comments brief, but I did want to highlight one agenda item, which is we have Yuhan here from the Honors and Recognition Committee. And that's something that we're intentionally doing. We want to bring more awareness, more connectivity to the work across the volunteer ecosystem. And so this might be something that we continue to do, but would love to get your input and feedback as we move forward. But again, thank you for everything. I will keep it short because I know we're really booked heavy today. But again, thank you.
Thanks, Amber. All right, let's take a look at the agenda, which you all probably saw in your emails. So we've got Heather Lent, who was here with us last time, and she is going to go over a little more detail of a demo of the Grant Finder tool. We're going to talk about AGU 25, the scientific program update, and the OSM meeting, Ocean Sciences. And we will also give you an update on AGU Central and some of the innovative ways we will be working with you and seeing you at the meeting. And then we are going to Amber's point, Yuhan, who is the chair of the Honors and Recognition Committee, is going to talk about quick update on 2025 honors and also canvassing for 2026. As I always say, these topics mostly come from you all, section leaders, and I appreciate it. And this one came from a couple of you, the one about canvassing, especially as we are approaching the meeting. And shortly after the meeting is done, we open up nominations the first week in January. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we have a discussion question as usual for you guys to talk to each other about it. So, oops, with that. Oh, and I just realized that the question on the slide was not the right one, but it's the question that was in the agenda, so we need to fix that. Sorry about that. So Grant Finder tool, Heather, why don't you take it away?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Rosa, and thank you all for allowing me to be here today. I am really excited. Well, I'm going to share my screen quickly, one second, if that's okay. To do content only. All right. So the last time I was here, you all were, oh, sorry. A second ago, I was sharing last month's slide from the Grant Finder, but that's okay. I remember. So the last time I was here, I told you all about the Grant Finder that is being released this month. We have a 9,000 grant database that we are opening up to all AGU members. It is an interdisciplinary database, meaning it's not filtered by Earth and Space Science. We're doing this specifically because we know that so many of you work on interdisciplinary projects. It seemed to make the most sense just to open up the entire thing. And I'm really excited because last month, I was just telling you about it, and this month I get to actually demo it to you. So if I may. All right, can everybody see my screen before I go? I just want can I get a thumbs up from somebody? Okay, thank you, Amber. All right, perfect. So this is the AGU Grant Finder. So I'm going to show you, it's essentially two tools in one. It is a search. So basically you can search our database of, as you can see, over 9,000 grants. So I'm going to go ahead and do a search for a single search for volcano, a single word. And as you can see, there's 13 grants having to do with volcano. You can also do a quote search, so a Boolean search for air quality, for example, and get multi 9 pages worth of grants about air quality. So at its core, it's a simple search that allows you to control your kind of search and how you want to, what exactly you're looking for. We will be rolling out filters in the future, but for now you can sort by most relevant or alphabetical or newest, sort of the most recent grants first. But in the future, we will roll out additional filters to allow you to filter out, filter by agency and that kind of thing. The second kind of piece to this is the recommended grants. So I'm going to take a minute and tell you how this works. I'm going to show you that I am currently logged in as Prithviraj Pramanik, who is a member of our digital user group. And he is, with his permission, I am logged in as him because I am showing you that all of his recommended grants. And before I do that, I'd like to show you his profile so that you can see the content that we are pulling to make these recommendations. So we're pulling from two different places. We're pulling from his AGU profile. So this is his profile. As you can see, he's published 3 articles with AGU. And we're also pulling from his ORCID. So we have much more content here that we can pull from. So we have 8 works that we're using to make these recommendations. So as you can see, he works in air quality, he works in air pollution. He owns a really cool company actually in India that kind of works with cities to monitor the air quality. And it's sort of on the kind of in the middle of public health and air quality and pollution studies. So if we scroll down, we can see the grants that are being recommended to him. Here we have air quality, ozone, particulate matter. We have Iowa Clean Air. We also have some public health grants. So as you can see, it's pretty much nailing what it is that he does and making grants that are recommended sort of in his area. Just like above, you can click Quick View to see the description of the grant, the title, and the deadline if it's available, and the agency where it's coming from. I'd like to also note that we're not just pulling from federal grants or state grants, we also have private grants as well. And you can then go to, view full details, and that'll take you directly to the grant. So we can go to the National Park Service, grants.gov, and view this grant opportunity. All right, so I'm going to pause here and ask if there are any questions.
Go ahead and raise your hand or yell out, anyone?
I see that someone asked, is there a link for this grant finder that's available to members? There is. So this is available in production, and it is something that I'd be happy to share with you all. We are in the phase kind of the 2 weeks while it is live, but it has not been announced to everybody. It's called kind of a soft launch. And this is the time that we send it out to people who are kind enough to test it for us and make sure that it's working well. So if anybody would like to do that, would be happy to send you the link. And if you wouldn't mind sending me your thoughts, good and bad, that would be fantastic. I will put all of that information in the chat when I'm done. Let's see. Sorry. Any other questions?
I think I see anything, Heather.
Okay, that was easy. As I, we go, Mike.
Yeah, you just said it sort of, it sounded like you were saying wait on announce this in newsletters and things. Is that we should do that until you have a hard launch instead of the soft launch?
I would appreciate that. Yes. So as I said, it is live. It is working. I've spent, days and days testing it and it seems to be working perfectly. But we would love to be able to take the next 2 weeks to have it tested by many different people, just to make sure it is working. So if we could hold off until it's the official announcement on October 13th, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. Great question. Anybody else?
All right. Well, thanks, Heather. We appreciate it. We'll have you back to get more feedback if needed. And if you have any more questions for Heather, certainly email us in the usual way and we'll get them to her. Great. So why don't we go to the next presentations around AGU 25. We've got a couple of folks We're going to start with Sarah, who's going to give us kind of an overall update on the scientific program, and although not AGU 25, but it's the Ocean Sciences meeting update as well. So, Sarah.
All right. Well, thank you guys today. And I apologize, my camera's, there's some flickering here. So let's hope, fingers crossed, it stays true for the rest of this. Just here to give you guys some updates as we continue to move forward for each meeting. We're about 11 weeks out, not about, we are 11 weeks out from AGU 25. So if you go to the next slide. So just to bring you guys up to speed, as you know, the last time I was here, I was telling you about local hubs. This is a new program because we know not everyone will be able to travel this year or meet in New Orleans. So we still wanted to provide an area where people can come together and network because we hear networking is paramount. That's what everybody is looking for. So we had put together a local hub program, which launched just a couple of weeks ago. And I'm happy to announce, if you go to the next slide, we actually already have 4. We have 2 that are fully confirmed, one in Nigeria, one in Kenya, and we have 2 more that are pending, just their next steps. And so we're hoping that several more of these come through, especially within our international members, because we know not everyone, like I said, will be able to travel for different reasons. So please take a look at the website there at the bottom. It has all the information on how you can become a local hub. It's a really great new program. You get access to all the content from AGU 25. It's on a rolling basis. 48 sessions are fast tracked per day that will turn around in 24 hours. And then the rest of the content is all available within 48 to 72 hours. And then following the meeting, absolutely all of the content is available to local hubs, and they will have access to that content all the way until April 14th. Yes, and we can add the link to the local hubs into the chat. New session types, just letting you guys know about the new session types. Science exchange sessions. These also were very popular. This was a new session that we opened for any scientists who didn't have active research or for anyone who had a talk that didn't fit within the traditional scientific abstract. We're happy to say that we had 21 different panels that came through that were accepted and 16 individual presentations that came through. All of this is going to be available on our website on Wednesday when the official program launches. But again, this is just new sessions that we can take a look at. Also, the GeoBurst sessions. These are sessions that were going to take the place of our formerly known as e-lightning sessions. We've elevated them to a slightly new format. You will have the 90-minute in-person presentation followed by, a 90-minute presentation for up to 16. Apologize, up to 12 individual presentations. They are 30-second auto advancing slides for a total of 5 minutes. I know it's confusing, but those will be in the morning, and then in the afternoon, they will have their poster sessions in the poster hall. Finally, next up, we do have, we're going to have a total of 10 different workshops. You will be able to log back into your registration if you've already registered to sign up for these. These are the full day, the 5 full day website workshops that will be available. And then if you go to the next slide, these are the 5 half-day workshops that are available. Workshops are folded, unlike similar previous years where they were on Sundays. This year, they will be on Monday through Thursday. So this will be in lieu of some of the concurrent sessions. And I see that there's lots of questions in the chat. No, I will go back in and answer those as I go through here. Next slide. This is our newly added field trip. So a lot of people had asked about field trips and what we're going to be doing. This just got added. We are excited that our member, Barry Keem from LSU Health Sciences Center, has helped put together this field trip. It is the 20th anniversary of Katrina when we're going to be down there. So we're excited to kind of lean into the impacts of the lasting impacts of Hurricane Katrina while exploring like the rich history of New Orleans. and the city's resilience and recovery over the years. So don't miss this. This will be Tuesday, just a half day, and really insightful. Some really great stops along the way for that. Next up. Next up, back by popular band, the puppies. The puppies are back. We will have puppy yoga, 2 different opportunities for the puppy yoga. So you can come and get your snuggles on in the morning, both Tuesday and Wednesday morning. And note that all of the puppies are up for adoption. So if you're looking for a new furry friend to bring home, note you can come and meet some adorable little pups that are looking for their forever home. Next up. This is a reminder of key deadlines. Housing and registration opened up in the end of August. Early bird rate deadline is the 6th of November. Please note as a reminder, if you're a government employee or any of your friends who are government employees, note that all government employees, the early bird rate is available to them all the way through the start of the meeting. We know that there's a lot going on right now, and not all of them were going to be able to register by the 6th of November. So note that regardless of when they register, they will still be eligible for the early bird rate. We also, the entire notification letter, and the entire program will go live this coming Wednesday on the website. And then VIP housing deadline is the 10th of October, and the housing deadline is the 19th of November. Also, just going back with the current environment and the potential for a government shutdown, note that if you are a government employee and submitted, you will be getting a notification late today. So we're trying to get out notifications early to all of our federal members and folks who submitted, so that they can get notification prior to any potential government shutdown. So all of that is coming through. So I'll pause there just really quickly to go through any key questions we have here for local hubs. Thank you for adding local hubs. So all the content for the local hubs will be recorded, so that it's on demand. So all of our virtual and local hub will be on demand. The workshops, they're not live on the website yet. They will become live on Wednesday. So we can absolutely provide a link to all of the workshops and the full information with the Conflex scheduler as soon as it becomes live October 1st.
I'm looking through as well. I think, oh, there's a new one. This has to do with the link. I think, Heather, you're managing that.
Yeah. All right. And then we'll go into oceans quickly. So for the oceans meeting, we're really excited. This is the first time oceans is going to be overseas. It's going to be in Glasgow, Scotland in February. We had a record number of abstract submissions with over 6,100 abstracts. We've had a total of 49 town halls, 10 accepted ocean outcome sessions. They're similar to the science exchange sessions for AGU 25. So again, it's a pilot program that we're focusing on for solutions-oriented science. And then we have 4 agency forum proposals, 2 of which were US-based and 2 of which were international. I saw the question for how many abstracts the fall meeting received. The fall meeting, that was in a previous, you didn't miss anything, Andy. That was a previous presentation that we had done. We got just shy of 21,000. It was like 20,800 and change. So just shy of 21,000 abstracts were submitted for AGU 25. And so for going back to oceans, you can see a total of 6,117 submissions with a total of a little over 6,000 unique submitters. This is actually, you can see a 30% increase over OSM 24. It's our best one to date. If you go to next slide. Also international, 62% of the submissions were international. That's 2,000 more abstracts than previous OSM 24. And this is the first time that we will have more international presenters than US-based presenters. So a truly global show. So we're really excited by this. And some great new first-time attendees. So some great new science coming through. Next slide. We saw the same increase in our students. 29% of the total submissions were by students. It's 1,000 more submissions than in previous years. So again, a great uptick. So really focusing on that student and early career on the sciences. Next slide. So we had 16 different topic areas that people submitted. So those 6,117 abstracts were submitted across these 16 different topic areas. So you can see it's going to be a really robust conversation across several different scientific areas. Next slide. There's going to be a total of 4 different plenaries. Our opening and day 2 plenaries have both been confirmed. You can get more details on that on our website. And our day 4 and 5, our Wednesday and our closing plenaries are TBD. The closing will be the Ocean of the Decade. It's a panel with the UN Ocean of the Decade. So it should be a really dynamic conversation, and more details are going to come back out on both the Wednesday and the closing plenary shortly. Just some deadlines to be aware of. If you are planning on joining us in Glasgow, which we hope that all of you are, the housing and registration opened up in June, so please go ahead and register. I will say housing is going quickly. The closeout deadline for housing is a little bit earlier than you normally would have seen for like a show in the US. So I'd say if you are planning on going, please go and book your housing so that you can assure that you get the hotel of your choice at the lowest rate possible. So definitely jump on and do that as soon as you can. And then, as I said, the AGU 25 program is all launching on the 1st of October, but just 2 weeks later on the 15th of October, the OSM full program will launch on their website. So all the notification letters will be sent out and it will be live on the website. As I said, the housing deadline comes up a little bit earlier than you might expect. So it is actually before the holidays, the 20th of December, right after the fall meeting. And then our early bird registration rate is the 14th of January. So that's just a quick update. So is there any other questions?
There are a few in the chat that you may want to address, but I'm wondering if we kind of keep it all together, have Eric go ahead and talk about AGU Central, and we can catch all of the questions on the back end. And Sarah, if you want to answer some of this in the chat, thanks.
We'll do. Okay. Thank
Sure. Happy to. And Sarah, you got to put some nickels in the jar for saying fall meeting like 3 times.
Shoots parents. Yeah, I know. Annual meeting.
No worries. Hey everyone, I'm Eric Hank, and I'm an assistant director in our membership department. Before I go to the next slide, you may not be familiar with this term AGU Central because it's been a few years since we had a space that actually was called that. I think actually the last time was in 2021 when we were in New Orleans. This essentially is a space that is replacing what was previously known as the Career Center, and the programming is going to be more encompassing of AGU's breadth of offerings and the value of membership. So you can go to the next slide. So speaking of membership, I know that the membership research has been presented to this audience before. We are looking to instill some of the lessons learned from that research into our presence at the annual meeting, namely that our members are looking to AGU as a means to build connections, whether that be people, networks, or the scientific disciplines, and see AGU as an essential partner in their professional career growth. And these are the themes that are driving in the design and the programming for AGU Central. Next slide. So yeah, AGU Central is going to be AGU's primary presence in the exhibit hall. There's also the Open Science Pavilion, but that has features programming outside of just AGU itself. There's going to be 3 tracks of programming taking place in AGU Central around policy and communications or science policy action, career exploration and transitions, and navigating publishing. Now we recognize this doesn't, those 3 pathways don't encompass all the things that we could be talking and all the things that AGU does offer our members, but we know these are 3 very important topics to our members, not only in general, but certainly right now. And with that, you can go next slide. So each path is going to instill some important means to connect. So not only in terms of meeting lots of people and learning, which we'll be doing through our workshop theater, and please don't confuse when I say workshop theater with the workshops that Sarah was mentioning earlier. This is really just a space. The workshops that she mentioned actually won't be in this space. So I apologize for the confusion there. But large scale learning in our large theater, small group connections in a pod space, and then the opportunity for one-on-one connections and conversations in the Brain Dates Lounge, which will be moved into AGU Central as well. And an important piece that we're going to also instill into the programming featured at AGU Central and all of our talking points are the member offerings in 2026, where we're looking to galvanize the learning and conversations that are happening here into people being engaged in AGU in 2026 and renewing their membership. And next slide. And here is a peek at what the space will look like. Some things may change a little bit here, but this is a good rendering of it. And I'll go through it from left to right. So on the left, we have a pod space where we'll be having small group conversations around the different pathways. And there will be some other AGU programming happening there too that are connected to the pathways, but may not be explicitly stated within them. Next is a membership activation area. We'll be walking attendees through the benefits of AGU membership, showcasing things like the grant finder tool that Heather just mentioned. Then we've got our workshop theater, which will be the large learning sessions where we'll have things like navigating your first time publishing, understanding your career exploration and how your values and your skills connect, and a whole suite of different like science policy oriented discussions. Next is the ever popular professional headshot booth. And then curling down to like, I guess, I don't know, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, the Brain Dates Lounge. This had been its own space in previous meetings, and we've moved it into the AGU Central space to work as a great way to facilitate those one-on-one connections. And there's going to be several types of connections that will be featured here. So while in the past, I don't know, 95% or so of the conversations that were happening in Brain Dates were attendee-led, we are preloading the programming here with more than usual. So one program is going to be the AGU Recruiter Connect, and I'll get to that in a second. We're going to have resume and CV review happening there as well. Our publications department is going to be utilizing this space to do their very popular rapid review sessions. And the science policy staff are going to be meeting with attendees there as well and reaching out to some of their key members from like the Voices for Science past cohorts to talk folks through the questions they have around how they can be more involved in science policy. Okay, AGU Recruiter Connect, and I'll put the link to this in the chat in a second. But this is a new program this year. We are looking to help folks who are looking for a job right now or will be in the near future meet some prospective employers. And one challenge we've always had is actually bringing in recruiters into the annual meeting. Most of the folks who come to the meeting in the exhibition hall and work at those booths are usually from like marketing staff, and companies are unwilling, and understandably so, to pay for either a separate booth to do straight recruitment or pay for another staff person to work that booth who is a recruiter. So we are offering the opportunity for folks who are in a hiring capacity, whether they are an HR professional, a hiring manager, or a recruiter for their organization, to come to the annual meeting and have at least 10 meetings throughout the course of the week. Hopefully at least, around 30 minutes to do informational interview sessions with folks. And in return, they get a complimentary full exhibitor badge for the meeting. We have heard some initial excitement from our exhibition community around this opportunity, and we're excited to see how many folks we can bring in. But it'll be like a quasi job fair, but not really, because we're expecting more informational interviews to be happening here as opposed to actual interviews for positions. With that, we can go to the next slide, and I'm happy to answer questions. And I'll put the link for the AGU Recruiter Connect into the chat.
Thanks, Eric. So are there any questions for Sarah or Eric around AGU 25 or OSM? And I'm looking at the chat, a lot of back and forth on wellness and puppy yoga. So thanks for all those comments. There's something in here, Sarah asking about a silent room.
Yes, I was just typing in some additional answers into the chat.
Yeah.
Yes, we do have two different wellness rooms. One is more pipe and drape and quiet. We also have a fully quiet. The pipe and drape one has different areas for meditation and like little activities for calming, and then we have a secondary room that's just for quiet for a neurodivergent that need to step away. We also will have a couple of different sessions on mental well-being, including a partnership that we're doing with APA. It'll be a union session that we are doing in partnership with them. So quite a few different activities and sessions centered around mental health.
Thanks for that. Amy, I see your hand raised.
Hi, thanks. I don't know if this is the right time to ask, but at some point, and maybe I missed it, there was talk about the networking spaces that the sections could reserve. Is this the right place to ask? And if yes, what are the steps for that, please?
Yes, so for that, there are 3 different areas that the sections will be able to reserve. You will have the traditional pods that we've had in previous meetings. We will have the larger extended lounges that are in the new Connections Connections Hall B1. And then you'll have, there's 1 or 2 really small meeting rooms that you can also reserve. All of them can be reserved through an online reservation system. Similar, it's the same system that you've used in the past if you reserved a pod. So that'll be available on our website and also through our app. And that will be launching just before the meeting. We're looking at like 3 to 4 weeks out, but I know we did notify the section leadership here that we would launch it with this group prior to it going live with the full attendees. So keep an eye out for that around 4-ish weeks out from the meeting.
Does that help, Amy? Good, great. Anything else? We're gonna hopefully have a little bit of time on the back end of this, but anything that didn't get answered in the chat, or anyone want to voice anything else into the room?
Rosa, I forgot to do a specific call out for something.
Sure.
Yeah, in terms of ways that folks here can be involved in AGU Central, one way is while we have some of the AGU HR staff will be on hand to do resume and CV reviews in that Brain Dates Lounge space. We of course would love whatever volunteers we can get. And so if you or anyone from your community is interested in giving back to the community by doing some resume review or even more importantly CV review services, please let me know. I'll put my email in the chat, and feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah, good call out. Thanks, Eric. And we would love to hear from you, get your help. So let us know. All right, well, let's move on to the next topic and the discussion questions. So Yuhan has joined us. Yuhan, we introduced you before you entered the room, but Yuhan Rao is the chair of the Honors and Recognition Committee. He's going to give us a few updates on the 2025 honorees, but also, like I said at the top of the call, a few of you, when I did a call out for topics, wanted to talk about among yourselves what you're doing around canvassing. We can certainly give guidance, and we do, and give you some tools and resources, but I think it's even more important for you all to talk to each other in terms of ways you've learned to do this or questions you may have for each other. So with that, welcome, Yuhan.
Thanks, Rosa, and thanks for having me here today, just providing updates about what the year 2025, sorry, I was keep talking about fiscal year. We're not talking about fiscal year right now. And if you can go to the next slide. Yeah, and so in year 2025, that you probably have seen the announcements went out last week, announcing the honorees of UMAP, which is Union Medal Award and prizes. We have 38 awardees given out this year, and also 52 fellows being given out based on the membership. And we have 81 section honors, including lectures, early career students, mid-career, different types of prizes and honors at section level. And this number can actually increase as some of the honorees are still completing the professional conduct screening process. And so at Honors and Recognition Committee, we're really excited to see those wonderful peers being recognized. And we have been told to keep the excitement until the AGU made an official announcement. Now it was finally announced last week. So I was able to send out some few text messages to the people that I knew who got honored like last week. If you can go to next slide. And so for the AGU 25, we have the section reception on Tuesday of December 16th. And also, as usual, we will have the honor ceremony at 6 p.m. local time on Wednesday, December 17th. And there will be a reception immediately after the ceremony. And so this year, there are some updates to how we celebrate of the honorees and their guests during the AGU annual meeting. So this is slightly different. And I think there's some the communication went out in the AGU announcement about AGU 2025. Next slide. So as Rosa mentioned, some sections are really interesting about canvassing, which section canvas committee, ideally we want the canvas committee to help us canvassing both for section awards and lectures, UNIA fellows and UMAP programs, especially those aligned with specific sections. Not all the medals awards align with individual sections. So we want the section canvas committee pay attention to those ones mostly aligned with their own sections. And in terms of getting ready for the canvassing, next slides, please. So the purpose and role of the Canvas Committee is really to help the membership identify the strong candidates and what are those section members eligible for those different honors at different levels, and also trying to help them build a robust nominations that often identify relevant nominators and supporters, and also support the nomination processes, and also promote the diversity, equity, and inclusion in the nomination pools, which has been a focus of the Honors Recognition Committee as well. And we also want to tailor the efforts, the canvassing committee to tailor those efforts to the section needs, because the committee size can really vary based on different sections. And so Rosa also probably already mentioned different sections have different practices in terms of canvassing. So, and the membership team has been trying to provide the most useful information to help different sections to do the work about canvassing, recognizing those excellence among our communities. Next slide. So in terms of the resources that AGU staff can provide, including those materials provided of the historical submission trend from the previous several years, and also the membership list for those sections, so that can help you, the Canvas community, to identify those individuals who have not yet received an honor but deserving an honor, and also providing specific membership demographic information for the sections, as well as the information about which part of the catalog of the honors recognition that AGU offers are relevant to those individual sections and the memberships. And usually AGU staff will provide materials with the Canvas committee in October and November before the opening of the nomination cycle next year. And in terms of timeline, next slide, that we are planning to open the UMAP fellows and section nomination process in early January. And we're trying to give enough time for people to nominate for different types of awards and honors. And we are anticipating the closing of the UMAP program at early March, which goes through a two-stage nomination process. And for the fellows and the section awards, that we are going to close it in mid-March. I believe in 2025, hydrology section goes with the UMAP timeline, right, Rosa? If you can confirm if 2026 is still the same case?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Just want to clarify so we don't get that question.
Yeah.
Next slide.
All right.
So yes, and I think that's just really a background of what the honors has been, the honor situation for sorry, I keep saying FY, calendar year 2025. And then we are here to provide, answer any question you may have about canvassing. And also we're willing to hear any suggestions about canvassing as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Yuhan. We're glad you're here to kind of cross across the section or across volunteer leadership at AGU and come and talk to the section leaders today. We've got a couple of questions. Let's take them quickly because I also want you all to get into your breakout rooms and to learn from each other, and then we can come back and hear from you again. So Kathy and then Martha, and then we'll go into the breakouts.
This isn't specifically about canvassing, but I think it ties in a little bit, which is that we have a couple of awards that sort of say that, a benefit of the award is you get to give a talk at the AGU, but the awards aren't awarded until September. And this is incredibly awkward. So I don't know if anything can be done about that. Maybe not. But I just want to point out that, like, not knowing who the awardees are until September, i.e. much after the AGU abstract deadline, is really, really difficult in a lot of cases to fulfill the um, benefits of the award. And I think, some of the award winners might have planned to go to the AGU and submitted an abstract if they'd known that they won an award before the abstract deadline. So I don't know if those two things can be coordinated, but it would be much easier, I think, on everyone if the awardees were notified before the abstract deadline. So that's just something to think about.
Yeah, I
Thanks,
mean, I can jump.
Kathy.
Go ahead, Yuhan, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, I think some sections usually have a placeholder for those specific lectures and in the programs. And so I think for that, right.
Yeah, I mean, we do that too, but like, if somebody knows that they've won an award for their dissertation, they're much more likely to go to the AGU. And now I'm in the position of contacting these award winners and saying, congratulations, you can give a talk at the AGU. I haven't done it yet. I've been remiss, but and I'm anticipating at least one of them to say, oh, I wasn't planning on going to the AGU.
I think probably something to think about for the OSPA is that I think they give the OSPA winner the opportunity to present next year. So maybe there's a timeline alignment in their, that's one of the options. Like they want to work for dissertations, they can be invited to present in the next year.
Yeah, but especially for a dissertation prize, I'm sorry to drag us on, especially for a dissertation prize, then that person's going to be well into their postdoc by the, you know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know, if you could just tell me who won the awards in like mid-July, that'd be great.
Okay, thanks, Kathy.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna chime in real quick. So Kathy, what I'm hearing is that we need to find a way within our current timeline processes to make sure that it sort of aligns as much as possible with the abstract submission timeline.
Yeah.
That is something that we can talk with the Honors and Recognition Committee about revisiting the timeline for section lectures and any awards that have invited talks. But that would need to be a broader discussion because you are right, based on our current timeline for the review process, it doesn't align with when abstract submissions open. So you're right, the names don't come until after it closes, but that is something that the Honors and Recognition Committee can look at and revisit.
Okay, thanks, Lena. Martha.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe this should wait for we just discussion, but our canvassing people have had a much harder time lately. They find people do not like this double having to do it twice. And especially the first one, it seems like people everybody who is submitting some names, those people are always really good. They're always capable. So there's a very few people who get thrown out in that first ranking process. And those who do are often because they don't understand how the new thing works. A lot of people were saying they don't understand how to write a letter for the AGU values because they're so vague and they don't give them any, so they don't really understand how to do this with the new system and they want more guidance. So if the if the canvassing committee can get more guidance, and if people can get more guidance on what is a good letter, it used to be that you just had to say what great research they were doing, and now there's this, vague things about maybe they need, to do more service or something. but they don't understand what it means. Particularly, the Europeans don't understand what diversity means, and things like that. So I think, and maybe other foreign countries too. There's like an American thing about what it means to be diverse, and they know what to say, perhaps, but maybe they don't either. Especially now with changes in the government, with their dislike of the term diversity. So I think people are finding it very difficult to write letters now, and they don't know, they really want more help. Thanks.
Thanks, Martha. I think there's some healthy conversation in the chat going on. I just want to quickly respond before Rosa want to put people in the breakout rooms. And so we have heard the suggestions that community members want more guidance on how to do the nomination. So the honors and the recognition committee is working with the AGU staff to provide more guidance on the specific, some examples and also specific instructions on the nomination processes and the systems, and also communicating why we're doing the two-step nomination processes and what's the intention of it. And so that would be definitely more information provided for the coming cycle as well. And if you have specific like guidance you want to see us from the Canvas committee, I think the breakout group will be a good time to bring out those like recommendations, and Rosa and Leah probably, or the honors staff can take notes, and we can provide more guidance leading up to the next nomination cycle for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is one of the enhancements as we've been learning about honors innovations and what folks need in the community. So we are going to provide more education and guidance, and we're going to do some open office hours as well earlier in the year to maybe help some folks answer specific questions. We don't have a lot of time, but we'll still kind of do the breakouts, and the timing may adjust. But Josh, you want to pull up the slides here? Okay, so the correct question. What approaches has your section tried to canvas for AGU honors nominations? So what have you all done? What's worked? What hasn't worked? We really want you all to kind of talk to each other. And then we're going to have you come back after a few minutes. This timing is going to be off now because we're only going to give you a few minutes that are left in the call. If you think of it, often you don't, but pick someone to kind of report out when you get back on the other side of your breakout. And then we'll have more time, hopefully, for some shared discussion and awareness there. So with that, Josh, I think you're going to turn off the chat and then put everyone into their breakouts. So thanks you guys for doing a very abbreviated discussion, and we can keep talking about this in other venues. And like I said, we're going to do open office hours for honors as we open up the new cycle. So come to those too. We'll make sure you get the invitation to those. We've got like 4 minutes left, so I'll just say whoever wants to jump in. I think we had 3 different groups. So who wants to start?
I can start.
Sure.
Had some really great suggestions that everyone can use coming from atmospheric science section. They have they follow a memo. They have with a timeline and like, okay, this is how the process is going to work. And they have like, they keep a spreadsheet with where they put names of nominees and potential nominators, and they have the whole system set up to kind of make sure they do everything on a timely manner, follow up on reaching out to people. That's also part of that memo with the timeline. And Amy, she posted an email here. I think everybody can see it, right? To Jonathan Abbott. Or should I repost it? I don't know if that was just to my breakout group or if everyone could see it. But that is the chair of the canvassing committee for atmospheric science, and he'd be happy to share their process. So that's like the main takeaway that I got out from our group, and then others are sort of kind of we shared some struggles and similarities to this method. So yeah, I'll stop there.
Thank you for that. And folks have ideas and resources. Like Yuhan had to run, but as he mentioned, we're looking at materials and guidance we can provide. So we'd love to see what you're providing, so maybe we can incorporate, some promising practices there. Martha.
Yeah, thanks. The our group had a lot of troubles that wasn't working very well since especially since they've instituted this two-step process. But one thing that we did that our group found that was useful was to actually get ahead of the things and know who you wanted to get the people on the committee early enough that they can get in person at AGU and ask nominators in person rather than trying to email them. And that seems to work the best. But you have to be very organized to do it in time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but really everybody has been having more trouble lately.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing as well. Understood. Any other, I guess we've got another group, correct, that needs to report out?
I can go for our group.
Yeah.
We did have a faction in our group that rejected the idea of honors entirely and thought that we maybe put too much focus on honors. So that was one viewpoint. We also have some nominating committees among the sections that we noted this is kind of a repetition of something somebody just said, which is that it's important to start early. So our nominating committee, their cycle starts in the fall. And so that's one thing that's important to do. And then communication with members, we do a lot of putting things in newsletters to try to stoke interest in people submitting awards. So
Okay. All right, and we're at time, but any other comments? I'm also looking on the side here at the chat. Yeah, Charles.
Yeah, I didn't actually get a chance. We got cut off before I got to speak in our group. So I'm president-elect of Ocean Sciences, and I ran our AGU Fellow selection process this year. We don't have a problem getting nominees. We've gotten 23 and 24 the last 2 years, and we're eligible for 9 fellows. Last year, we were 6 were elected, and I set my goal this year to beat that, and we did it. We got 7 elected, but one of my major concerns is I looked at that, and only 1 out of the 7 that were elected were females, and the other 6 were male. So that's 14%. That struck me as rather odd. So I went and I looked at the 52 fellows that were selected overall, and only 17% of those were females. So I'm not going to comment on this. I just want people to be aware of it, and then they can think what they will about it.
Yeah, and Charles, we appreciate that. I mean, we're aware of the trend, and certainly we're in conversation with a variety of stakeholders in the committee to look at that. But Amber, I also saw you came off mute. I wasn't sure if you were going to
No,
add
I
in.
know we're wrapping up, so I'll make it fast. Yeah, we're working on getting back to you, and yeah, it's something that we're taking a look at, and we'll make sure that we get back to you shortly. But I know we're already over, so
We
I'll leave it
are.
there for now. But we'll definitely hear from us soon.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Charles, and thanks, Amber, as well. And I see a few more things in the chat. Hopefully, I'm not missing too much, but we're at time. Let me know, as usual, when I reach out or even before then, what topics you'd like to see. We've got an October and November meeting left of the monthly call. So let us know what discussion questions or other topics. But with that, I'll let you go. I can stay on for a couple of minutes here in case anyone wants to chat further. Bye.